I want a sandwich. Now. Oh, sandwich wench. Yo, wench. Sandwich. Now. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. Sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. Sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. Oh, sandwich wench. I want a sandwich. Sandwich.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us for another political recap stream here on, everywhere. Yep. Joining me to talk about some bits and bobs, and sorry for not being here last week, I think, is Trups. Say hello, Trups.
Hello, Trups. Did you get that one?
No. Something's
Damn it.
Something's changed, man. We just don't catch it these days.
It's just not the same anymore, man.
There you go. I did a bottle for you at least.
I heard it, yeah.
To be fair, that bottle's been there for a while. I had to moisten it. How is Trups?
Love that. I'm okay. Sometimes I feel like I don't get enough done in a week. I think I've had this complaint before, I think, but like every now and again, I'm just like, damn, I could have been. It's not even like I could have been more productive. I could have gotten more done, or I wish I could have gotten more done.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda territory, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I think a lot of us, I'd mentioned recent issues I've had about my anxiety issues that I find it hard to sometimes not think that perhaps I've wasted time when it comes to my the week I have. So I now, like, the way I look at things is, while sometimes it does feel like the day has gone a bit meh, if I look at it and go, I haven't wasted my day, I've done stuff, then I don't feel like that time has been wasted.
Yeah, that's something that actually my therapist has told me too. It's like, it's do something, that way you at least have accomplished something, so you're not saying that my entire day was wasted. Be like, I got something done, and that's okay. We're still taking steps forward, type of thing. Because with the ADHD, I mean, I tell you, it's rough to keep up with.
Yeah,
doing anything.
I can understand that. Not completely, but I do get it.
Right.
I don't have ADHD.
But yeah, I don't think for you though.
I'm all right. It's been a bit of a, as many will know, from the my Twitter especially, or just from streams I have mentioned, recent resurfacing again of anxiety for no reason. Yet I don't feel down. I don't feel miserable. I don't feel like I did last month. So I know that I go to bed and usually I feel okay. I wake up and I'm okay, and then it resurfaces, which tells me it's something in my head. It's not a physical symptom. So I will spend the weekend, as I said to Traps before, working it out, because why not?
Soul searching, doing drugs, going on a spirit journey.
Sweat lodge. I need a sweat box, one of those Native American things, don't I? Got to get my spirit animal.
Ayahuasca, DMT, like Joe Rogan.
Woot woot.
I would say something like shrooms or acid, but don't.
I saw a video today on Shorts of a guy bringing 2 cups of tea upstairs, and this hilarious squeaky voice, an older man, say about maybe 55. He's off his rocker on something. It must be shrooms. He's sat at the top of these very narrow stairs that spiral down. So it's English, you know that. And he's put the tea down, not spilled the drop. What does the man do, though? While sat on the stairs carefully and holding on for dear life, he somehow manages to fall back and roll down the staircase backwards.
That's incredible.
He was clearly on shrooms. It was great. I might have it saved. I may send it to you. It's very funny.
I'm always impressed by just what people can manage. Because I tell you, sometimes people surprise you with just how uniquely they can handle certain things and
Mm.
how they manifest it. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's something. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's about all I can tell you.
um, I think, yeah, it's been a bit of an odd week for myself because I thought we were okay, and then this happened. It just flared up again, and I was like, all right, then, fair play.
It doesn't mean you're not okay. It just means there's
True,
still more work to do.
very true. But we'll
I will therapy speak you if I have to.
that's fine. I don't mind. But anyway, yes. So
Care.
we're back for we've got another stream. We haven't done this in a few weeks. Sorry about that. Hello to Brian, Nessa, and Michael Lulu over on YouTube and Rumble. We appreciate your being here. Hope you're doing marvelously.
Hello, buddy.
I wasn't entirely sure where we were going to go, but I know that when this all kicked off last week and I had to say no to Trups, it's a shame because every time something really juicy happens, we have taken a form of hiatus. It's such
Yeah,
a cliche at this point.
it is. It is. I So I guess, do you want to start lighthearted?
Sure.
Okay, so let's not tackle Epstein yet.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Um,
Don't you worry.
I know. Um, I would say let's start with the Save Act because that's actually kind of interesting.
It's ongoing. It's very interesting right now because what people are trying to weaponize it into a potential shutdown.
Yeah,
Not to the Senate,
but
though.
the why they want to turn it into a shutdown is so fascinating
What
to me.
is the Save Act? And by the way,
So
the other light-hearted thing could have been the freaking redistricting of Virginia.
Virginia's a nightmare right now. We'll
I
get into
know.
that too if you want.
Oh, I'm happy to.
Um,
That was funny.
but the Save Act is essentially it is a finally an act of Congress
Yeah.
to require proof of citizenship to register to vote in elections. That sounds reasonable, right?
Well, let's check. Do you need ID to vote in UK? Ready? Do you need voter ID in UK? Photo ID is it says here you do need it.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, it's even funnier than that because the senators and the House representatives need it to vote on bills. They plug in a card, kind of like your debit card into a gas pump
yeah, I've seen it
to
'cause they do it in
vote.
the EU as well.
Yeah. So like this is not new. This is not like uniquely, American. This is the standard procedure for most official business. Why we allow and mind you, this is to register to vote is the top line of the Save Act HR 22. I'm staring at it right now.
Yeah, I figured you would be.
Yeah.
I've got an article from the BBC on it. My view is quite simple early on. We in the UK require ID to vote. I remember I didn't for Brexit because I just turned up and voted to leave.
Interesting.
But you, the United States, like to champion yourselves as the greatest democracy in the world. Well, for that to be true, you need to be up there with everyone else. You can't say you're the greatest democracy if your voter ID is called into question, or your identification, or the citizenship of that person could be called into question. It poisons the election.
Yes. And technically it's more than just we are touting ourselves as democracy, right? We are touting ourselves as using democracy to further expand our thing. Because again, we are not legitimately a democracy.
True.
We are a representative democracy,
Mm-hmm.
which matters because some people misunderstand what it is our country basically actually does.
I don't think UK is a
Um,
democracy. We like to champion it, but at best, I think we're a constitutional monarchy.
You guys? Yes, you are.
An oddity.
I mean, does that bother you?
Someone had said, no, it doesn't bother me. Somebody had said recently that, so I follow a Star Trek podcast, and on it, they were talking about elections. You can tell one of them's slightly woke, and it's a bit disappointing. It's the English guy. And he was talking about how he thinks that, like Australia, it should be mandatory for everyone to vote. And if you don't, you should be fined for it. And that you shouldn't have a voice if you don't vote. I'm like, but the freedom to choose to vote or not is also a fundamental freedom that everyone should have.
I also don't think that everybody should vote. And that's actually one of the arguments that the SAVE Act actually has put into place. A lot of people have looked at the SAVE Act and said that, oh, this is going to prevent women from voting. Have you heard that?
I have.
So it's a little interesting because from what I understand, the SAVE Act's criticism is that if your ID is different than your birth certificate, then it would be this is what actually let me phrase it in how the Democrats are phrasing it and then how it actually works. The Democrats are phrasing it as if your ID does not match your birth certificate, you will be disallowed from being able to register to vote.
Yeah, and Nessa,
In reality,
I don't agree with voter age being 16 in the UK at all. I don't.
uh,
Because they can't do anything else.
in reality,
Sorry,
however, to do the SAVE Act, or what it does is you have to use a proof of citizenship,
Yeah.
which can include things like your passport or a real ID, which was something that was pushed very heavily recently.
Mhm.
So like these are not actual issues. They are fake issues that people are bitching about.
Well, I can add to this. There are an estimated 21 million Americans who do not have documents proving their citizenship readily available. 2.6 million lack any form of government-issued photo ID. That is according to the
At all.
Brennan Center for Justice, which is a liberal-leaning think tank, and the University of Maryland Center for Democracy and Civic Engagement. Pew Research from last year had found that 83% of respondents favored requiring all voters to show a government-issued photo identification. 71% of Democrat or Democratic-leaning voters and 95% of Republican or Republican-leaning voters, further lending credence to what you just said. Now, there's another part of this where some states already require voters to show valid photo identification at polls. So
Yes,
really,
as you should, I think.
this is agreed. This is hello Starlet. Hope you're well. This isn't as much of a point as those politicians who are removed from society think it is. They're just trying to create an issue so that they can have something, leverage of some kind.
Well, this reminds me a lot of the argument that they had made in the past about trying to steer away from voter ID because it would disenfranchise black people because their opinions of black people is so wholly racist. That simply they believe that they have some sort of inability to navigate their way to a DMV. And there was a guy who did a man on the street interview, almost a viral famous video from like I want to say like 8 or so years ago now, of that guy doing that and basically laughing at the absurdity that is like that statement. So when you look at what the people genuinely are wanting, it's not actually all that crazy. It's actually quite reasonable, I would say.
Yeah.
They are looking to verify that you are who you say you are, and for almost anything else in our normal society, we have shown ID for things. If you want to buy a beer, you have to show an ID. Unless you are very, very old, then they will not ID you. I believe it's like if you look over 50, they will not ID you.
Well, we're not far from that.
Hey, listen, some of us closer than others, okay? Give me my time, okay? Reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time.
Does your age stunk with a 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in your prime, at least, I guess.
Thought that about my 20s. Things are popping more than I expect them to nowadays.
Ah, but physically, men's strength peaks at 31, 32.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, shit, I should go to the gym.
I knew that from boxing.
Oh, good. That makes sense, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so they have been changing the opinions of discussing the Save Act. Instead of handling African Americans, now they're chasing the women outrage market, saying that if you changed your name when you got married, you may be disallowed, which is bullshit. A marriage certificate will very much show that, and if you work in any sort of official capacity, you have a valid proof of citizenship through federal governments or state governments.
Yeah.
Like, I could technically use my concealed carry permit in as a secondary document to prove my citizenship, because it is attached. In order to get a concealed carry, I need to prove X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
So it's almost like implied that if I have that, I have done the other things that I need to do,
That makes sense.
similar to a passport. But yeah, I think it's dumb, but the outrage. I think the idea of the actual bill is fantastic. I'm sad that it took us this long to get here.
Does kind of suck, but then stonewalling has been going on for a while. Hello, Shadow
God,
Aura of X, by the way. Hope you're well.
Our government is so good at preventing actual progress.
Mm.
And this is a both sides criticism thing. We are so good at bitching to not do work. Like, it surprises me that they argue that Gen Z is not capable of actually working when we look at geriatrics who won't do their job because mafifis or because election.
But the Mutt election is still a thing is tragic.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, look, if you're, but I want to get reelected, good for you. I want to have affordable health care. I want to have insurance companies actually not control our elections.
Understandable, to be honest,
Right.
because the amount of money involved is just ridiculous. It looks like collusion.
Well, especially for the insurance company thing, no non-medical professional should be allowed to make decisions on medical practice.
Agreed.
And yet we have people who are allowed to say, oh, you won't give that person this medication because we don't think they need it.
So,
I'm sorry, who the fuck asked you?
rather interestingly, I have criticized your country for years being predatory in this respect. Because of my nephew having to go down the private route, the insurance company has been doing this for years to him, and I didn't know. Like, you don't get to decide these medical things. You are not a medical professional. Oh, we'll need experts. You fucking don't.
Yes.
The expert said something. You don't like the answer.
But they argue, oh, well, we have medical professionals on staff.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the patient. You don't get to make the decision.
Agreed. And hello,
But
Ola. Hope you're well.
That's a tangent, and I'm sorry. It's just like I'm conservative centrist, but I fucking hate that part. So I will give it to the Democrats and the liberals. That shit does need to be fucking fixed.
Ola. Apparently, people with dyed hair are crazier. Just thought I'd let you know we know you're cray-cray now.
Yes, in case you guys weren't here for the small TCG card simulator, Wildling had brought up the recent study that women with dyed hair a tendency to have more mental illness categorically.
Just thought I'd share with the class.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was lighthearted. Do we think so? It's cleared we know that the Save Act has cleared the House now, 218 to 213, I believe.
Yes.
It's now for the
And
Senate.
it is received in the Senate.
How many votes?
There
does
have
it
been
need?
2. I believe this needs. I want to say just a simple majority. I
So
don't think this
51
requires
or
a
50.
super majority.
I know there were 48 votes for it already because people on Twitter are counting them.
Mm-hmm. I believe they've called roll on it a couple times.
Well,
No, the only roll call votes have been in the House.
Yeah, I have heard a few votes that are missing. Mitch McConnell is one of them. Hi, Holly.
Of course.
Well, hello, Greens as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Congress.gov right now. Oh wait, this is the wrong one? I think this is the wrong one. Hold on. Save Act. No, I want the more recent one, please.
If it's just a simple majority.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. It is that Congress. So yes, they do have it right now. Never mind.
Well, this could be rather
Because I
interesting.
forgot that it's the 2025 to 2026 Congress. That's technically correct.
It'd be very interesting to see if this gets through reasonably or not.
I'm not holding my breath.
I know Trump will sign it into law.
I'm sorry?
I know Trump has said he wants to sign this into law.
I'm sure he does. And realistically, so the problem with the registering to vote is because those numbers are what a lot of census data is based off of in the off years of census. So we do a census, I want to say, every 5 years. I think it's 5 years. It might be every 10 years. And that information is used to add or remove seats in the House for legislation purposes. Because we always have to have a max of that 400 some odd number. I think it's like 439, something like that. That number never changes. However, the distribution of those representatives changes based on population and population density.
Yeah.
Which is why it actually does help Democrats to allow for people to register, maybe not even to vote, but just to register as especially when it comes to illegal immigrants, because it allows their numbers to be inflated, thus adding a heavier weight to those areas, those districts, those states.
So I want to just insert a piece of information that's important here, because Orly, you're mentioning intimidation on the Republican side. Democrats also tried unsuccessfully to enact nationwide voting rules, as opposed to the current patchwork of state-by-state measures. Either side, regardless of what you believe in, would do something that you can consider conspiratorial in this Department of Intimidation, or data collection, or erasing people's ability to vote. It's the same both sides. You're screaming into a void. Don't bother. It doesn't change. People are always going to think someone's going to do it because of how poisonous the system is. The issue here is you have the state rules and then you've got federal, because this is based on federal voting. So this would be for the for presidential elections, I assume Congress as well, not the state one, the ones that represent for the state, the House, not the state ones. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Federal elections are based off of states. Yes.
Yeah. Federal elections have to be done a certain way, and based on how we see it every single time, it's the same shit. If the Democrats are in office, there's corruption. If Republicans are in office, there's corruption. Turns out the reason why it's because there's corruption. You're screaming to avoid
yes.
people that agree with you, by the way.
Yes, and not only that, but I think we found the corruption.
Yeah.
if we want to pivot real quick into the very large subject we have hanging over our heads. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, yes, corruption is in fact the problem. And oh dear, oh me, oh fucking my, did we fucking find it?
I'm loving it. I'm seeing stuff from Qatar with CEOs of companies going down the drain because their involvement with Epstein was so bad.
Yeah.
I'm just sat here like, man, you guys are fucked.
I'm actually more impressed and more angry at us because your country, when you guys, when the Epstein files came out in early January or in late January, there were immediate responses from your country and your legislators. People stepped down from positions that they held in the UK upon that release of information.
Yeah.
Holy shit, what a novel concept. Our country did not have that kind of exodus, except for one guy whose last name was Attree, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped down from his position as a CNN analyst, I want to say.
So there is one area of this where you are slightly inaccurate.
Oh, do tell.
And that would be a man called Peter Mandelson.
Okay. Yeah, that was my one caveat.
Because he was busted last September because of an association with Jeffrey Epstein. And he, at that point, was removed as the British ambassador to the United States. That's fine. But he was still a lord, temporal lord in the House of Lords. It's a lifelong period. It's a life peerage. He had since 2008. Mm-hmm. He kept that and was still a part of the Labour Party up until this year. He was still involved in British politics. He was appointed and still sought for advice.
Yes, so appointed by whom again?
Keir Starmer.
I saw him get played in Prime Minister's Questions.
He's had a rough
shit.
A bit. Kemi Badenoch doesn't need ammunition. Like I don't really care for the Conservatives that much, but bloody hell, man, Keir Starmer should have gotten rid of him in September last year. He should have. But the fact is, he knew then about the association. He would have undoubtedly had access to the information to know the level of association.
And Keir was absolutely flayed on the floor about this, wasn't he?
Mandelson is alleged to have passed sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein. Right? As far as I'm concerned, Keir Starmer knew that. He had to have known that. They had to. I'm sorry, you're the Prime Minister of this country. There are issues with cases in this country you knew about and you didn't share with the people. You knew, and I supported it because it was criminal-based until a conviction was found. You knew about this as well, and you still kept him in the House of Lords. A house you don't care for in the first place. And honestly, Keir Starmer got destroyed in PMQs.
Yeah.
He tried to answer reasonably, but his answers were an attempt at a lawyer from somebody who hasn't practiced law in over a decade. Not that he was ever any good to begin with.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, I suppose, depending on how you want to view
look at it, yeah.
Yeah. In this circumstance, you don't really have a whole lot of good answers. There's maybe 3 answers that people will accept. Any deviation from that is going to be like fucking like torn, tied and quartered on the main stage, right? Because if you are going to go out and they say, okay, you appointed this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know? If your answer is anything but no, everyone is going to look at you as if you are complicit in the acts that the person performed, because that is what you are essentially being an accessory to.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's actually the case is what people are going to feel.
So, quick thing.
If your answer also is, yeah, go ahead.
Orla, I do not support anyone privatizing the NHS. Hope that answers your question. What I think about other parties attacking immigrants and disabled people, don't care, because I see through it like you do. It's a smokescreen. I couldn't care less. stay on topic though, okay? As for and Favor
Um,
6, weirdly, the BNP, they were incredibly honest about how openly racist they were. I hate that that is the last honest party in this country. Anyone ever heard of Nick Griffin? He didn't lie
Vaguely.
per se, but he was just blatantly racist. And that made him a weird thing in politics because at least he never hid the fact that he was just racist.
it's a really low bar when all you need to do to be a okay politician
Mm.
is just be truthful. You can be basically anything else.
Politics is
Um,
now a game of optics. And because of that,
oh yeah, PR.
people, it's always that sound bites are the thing.
Mhm.
Something the WWE do now, everything's about spots. Same in politics. Right now, Keir Starmer is in a bad position because he looks so bad now that Angela Rayner, his former deputy PM, looks like a viable option. And people have found a website she had made just in case she became Prime Minister or was going to run for Prime Minister, running with it as if that meant she was plotting against him. It's like, no. She looks like a better option compared to him, and she's a freaking chav.
And she's right, though.
She is.
Like, Keir Starmer looks so horribly bad
He does.
that I think people will start thinking,
Well-
like, man, we actually had it okay with Boris.
So he has lost a number of advisors this week. He sacked a couple of people as well. One person was appointed that's been accused of bullying already. Keir Starmer doesn't have
Bullying?
many allies left. So he had his bullying, yeah. He had his entire party tweet out messages of support for him. I hit the Twitter sphere. I mean, I'm blocked by a fair few of them, but they were sucking him off. Like, I'm not backing a prime minister that would have, and he can't deny it. He had knowingly held on to information that meant he knew what Peter Mandelson had done, and he still kept him there. I'm sorry, but there's no version of it where he, the prime minister, didn't know. Peter Mandelson is now willing to go and go to Congress, I believe, and provide evidence and statements and such. That's fine. Peter Mandelson's career in politics is over, and he'll forever be tarnished for his association with Epstein.
Good.
Keir Starmer is no better now, though, because of his. Oh man, this just looks shit.
Yeah, because it is though. Like, and we had an unfortunate but fortunate, a very weird, a very weird kind of.
BRB.
Yeah, I got you. We had a very very weird thing that happened just the other day, where Pam Bondi was brought before. I want to say it was the Senate Judiciary Committee. In regards to some of the recent goings on, and what they found and what they were able to see was Pam Bondi basically running cover, almost just ignoring the whole implication and the seriousness of what the Epstein files showed before Congress. They asked her why you have not brought a single prosecution, and she responded with, if you prosecuted everybody in those files, then the whole system would collapse. Most people have heard that now, and they say, your terms are acceptable. Because at this point, a lot of normal people are looking at this situation going, all right, listen, if the whole system is rotten, then the system needs to go. I think that's pretty fucking accurate, honestly. I think that is a very reasonable thing to say, given what we now are experiencing and what we are now seeing. If the system is broken, to this level that you can't prosecute everybody in the files because it will undo the system, then the system deserves to be undone.
So, a couple of things in the chat. Random, I can't believe Starmer is still here. Agreed. And Favor6 on Twitch. I wish Jeremy Corbyn hadn't been stabbed in the back by his own side. It's weird to me that, in retrospect, Corbyn would have been a very interesting prime minister right now. We know what he would have done. Lots of pacifism, lots of enabling, and lots of taxes. But
yeah,
it's not really much different from Keir Starmer, really. At least Corbyn would have been open from the offset and said, I was going to increase taxes. Starmer didn't say that. He wasn't going to do that. Instead, he stabbed everyone in the back at the first opportunity. Out of curiosity,
it's a good. Yeah.
Have you seen anyone in higher up in those who've been seen higher up in the US who've been found out to be on this list? Are they getting done for collusion, or are they going to be speaking before Congress? Is there anything in place to get in?
So, sometimes it's hard to tell what is real. So I'm gonna go and check Twitter for this real quick, because I saw some posts from some higher up people, and I don't know how true it is. So I'm gonna go look for it real quick before I say what it is I want to say. So let me just type it. Bill Clinton.
Well, he does that. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a UK politician and you're a part of this, you're going to resign. You cannot serve the public. Our country does not work the same way as the US's republic. It can't. They have state and federal. We are just one. As far as I'm concerned, it's an abusive position. We've seen what's happened to Prince Andrew. Well, now just Andrew Windsor Mountbatten. People are querying Fergie now, his wife. It's a lot.
Delicious definition.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not okay. If there's even a whiff of suspicion of passing over what are considered state secret territory information, yeah, no, get out. I do know that with the list and what's made public and what's come out, it's not as simple. Yeah? But I don't think you can serve the people if you did that. Because I'm afraid with what was connected to Epstein, who totally didn't commit Sudoku, I don't think in good conscience you should be anywhere near public service. Simple as that.
So I went to look to see how intense it was. So on February 6th, Bill Clinton tweeted, I have called for the full release of the Epstein files. I have provided a sworn statement of what I know, and just this week I have agreed to appear in person before the committee. But it's still not enough for the Republicans on the House Oversight Committee. Okay. So ignoring the last part, because that is a whole lot of political shit that really is insubstantial to what we're trying to discuss right now. The fact that the Clintons, who have been basically on this or have been accused of this stuff for now years, right? They have been accused of being involved in this since basically the Epstein stuff ever became mainstream. The fact that they're willing to talk to Congress is curious to me. Ghislaine Maxwell, on the other hand, has actually pled the fifth, given the recent information that has come out, which is interesting, given that they were cooperating previously and perhaps are not cooperating now.
I wonder why. I bet she thinks like NXIVM cult, that she has some kind of I'm not as involved as people think I am thing.
I forgot all about the NXIVM cult.
Well, it's Alison Mack territory, isn't it? Trying to act like she wasn't more involved than what she really was.
Well, that's what everyone's been kind of trying to do. Even Bill Gates, when he came out. So the files had revealed to everybody confirmation about like the whole getting an STD from a Russian prostitute thing. And that was pretty significant. But what I thought was the weirdest thing is that he decided to talk about it at all. Honestly, if you're going to play the part of, hey, I don't know anything, your best, case scenario is not to give credence to any part of it, let alone try to save yourself because the shit doesn't quite look great on paper for you. I think it was very silly of him because what it actually told everybody now is that those files are correct in what they say. And now everyone has to live with that knowledge.
Okay.
Because I know some people were saying, oh, some of it probably isn't real. In particular, some of the stuff regarding like the Epstein files contained a lot of stuff that actually had nothing to do with Epstein. It was just stuff they seized off his material. So like there were pictures of like Dan Blazarian, for instance.
I know that name.
But like a picture from his Instagram, for instance,
Right.
which he came out and said, I don't know what the fuck you're censoring this lady's face for. This picture is public on my Instagram. She's a model. This was a trip that we took on my yacht. I have nothing to do with Epstein. Why are you making this look like I am some sort of bad person? Hello. And he got very pissed off at that. There's a lot of that going on. But more curiously, the people involved have not really stepped down or come to justice or anything like that. It has been very unlikely for them to move until they're forced to move. People like Leslie Wexner, very, very powerful individuals. Very, very little has happened to them since.
So I did see the head of the Dubai-based port giant, DP World, the head of it, Ahmed Noor, I think.
Mhm.
No, that's not his name. What was his name? Sultan Ahmed bin Salam. He has left the company what he was head of because of his links to Jeffrey Epstein. And a picture that was doing its rounds was him in the kitchen cooking with Epstein. I don't know the full involvement, but I know that people, because of how this is looking, nobody's going to be able to get away with just saying, "Yeah, we were just cooking." It's just not gonna work.
Especially because there are streamers who have been going on their streams and talking about some of the stuff that people have been theorizing, is the best way to put it, about some of the potential word choice in the emails. I don't know how much you've heard of this.
No.
Oh God. So people have thought, first let's talk about. You remember Pizzagate?
Yeah, I remember Pizzagate.
Okay, well, the emails contain quite a lot of references to pizza. And so everyone has basically now been looking at the Pizzagate conspiracy going, well, shit, you guys are probably, we're sorry for thinking that you were wrong, because it appears as if you were 100% correct.
My only issue with pizza is if anyone likes pineapple on it.
Yes, well, the way that they describe, I don't want to have to show you any of the stuff that's in the files for your own mental sanity. I have spent quite a good amount of time digging through it before they started purging it. It's unhealthy to stare at for too long. But there are some strange, very unnatural ways of describing pizza, especially when you're talking about a pregnant lady.
It's unhealthy. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and as Vanessa has pointed out here in the YouTube chat, jerky is even a darker, has been theorized to have even darker meanings, which is human meat.
See, I'd forgotten about a lot of that. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, I'm sorry to bring it back.
It does feel like it, doesn't it?
I'm very sorry that I have to remind you of it.
And just because I know Pam Bondi's been mentioned a few times, I know that the Republican conservative Congresswoman, was it South Carolina one, Nancy Mace, has said that the
Yeah.
U.S. Department of Justice has been spying on members of Congress. I'm not going to comment
Oh, I
on that
believe
because I
that.
only know that. I know nothing else. I know it's
I believe
related
it.
to Epstein file stuff. I know nothing else, though, I'm afraid.
I 100% believe that that's true.
Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Well,
but
it's
but I
par
don't
the
know.
course.
I know nothing, though.
hmm Well, that's a good way to stay alive.
For the sake of this, it is only because I don't. That happened. That was a more recent thing. That was today. I've been having issues today, so I haven't looked at it. Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay. Honestly, again, these things are not healthy to be too in depth in looking at
Yeah.
because and like this is not to say, by the way, that like I'm telling you this as more of a here's a trigger warning for you, but I don't want that to sound like I don't want you to look at it. Fucking look at it. Because this is that same kind of like shit that I have told people like it's dark, it's evil. Make sure it does not go unnoticed. Make sure the people who are responsible do not get away with it because you did not want to see the things that we are seeing. Um just be aware of what you're about to get into when you do type thing. Um it is dark and it is um it's a little nauseating, yeah. Um
It is nauseating. I agree with that 100%.
but it needs to be talked about and it needs to be handled because
does.
simply put, this cannot be allowed to stand if
Mhm.
we value ourselves as any kind of country with like rules, laws, and a thought process that we want to have people believe in the democracy that we claim to want to share with the world. We have to be better than this.
Agreed. 100% agreed. I saw in the chat a reference to Hi, Stina, hope you're well. People referencing lack of Canadian representation. I'm sure give it time, there will be some. I don't want there to be anyone on there, to be honest. I really don't. But sadly, some things are unavoidable. Excuse me. But fingers
And
crossed.
just because
Go on.
we've only released half of the information that we were supposed to release.
Yeah.
We were supposed to release all of it. We only released I want to say what was it? I think it was 3 million of the 6.5 million.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It's it makes me sad
Be
that
patient.
there's so much.
And when the time comes, even more people will get absolutely flayed. Blame Doug Ford. Whoever that is, blame them. Who's Doug Ford?
I don't know. I have no idea. Actually.
Fair enough. I hopefully we get an answer on that because I have no idea who they are.
I'll look it up in the meantime.
I'll blame the banana hammock because that's what I always blame. And give it that. Oh, and thank you, Shirk, for becoming a supporter on Rumble. I really appreciate
Doug Ford
that.
Is a Canadian politician who has served as the 26th Premier of Ontario and is the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario.
Oh, okay. Well, you can definitely blame them then. They sound like somebody that needs to be blamed. Thank you, Shirk, by the way, becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that.
And Bri just mentioned the same thing over on the Rumble.
I see. Brilliant. That's good to know. I know nothing of this stuff, so this is all very, very interesting to me.
Canada is not my my specialty.
I can barely do England, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say the U.S. is big enough for me to want to seppuku.
Yep, Sudoku is something.
Now there have been some interesting revelations regarding some people in the past, though. So, firstly, one of the interesting things was, um, and this may drum up some controversy within the chat, but Trump was observed in the files as to be one of the first whistleblowers against Epstein, um,
Really?
and actually was shown in a couple of different files to have been an informant for the initial um, prosecution.
Okay.
Um, which has kind of made a lot of people curious, and also like, yeah, that kind of makes sense now to put all the pieces together. That explains why they were seen together.
Yeah,
If you're an informant, you kind of have to keep being around them.
that makes sense.
My problem is, okay, cool, you were an informant. What did that solve, and what did that help?
Mm.
Nothing. But um, the other interesting observation was that Michael Jackson and the Neverland Ranch was potentially his way of saving kids from Epstein.
Well, that certainly paints him in a very different light, doesn't it? Now.
It does. And I want to say it was Macaulay Culkin. I'm checking his.
Was he in Fallout recently?
I believe so, actually.
That intrigued me. I saw the word Kaiser and I was like, wait, hang on, is he in Fallout?
Yeah, he's the legate.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm very happy for him. I
Yeah.
like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Well, when he
find.
was a child. Home Alone was like, that was it, you know.
I'm trying to spell his name right. This is a fucking nightmare.
Macaulay.
Yeah.
Macaulay.
Thank you. Yeah,
Culkin,
fucking nightmare to type
Culkin.
that. Yes. Okay, there it is.
I'm not
Awesome.
Googling
'Cause
this,
I'm
by the way.
checking
That's just off the top of my head. I assume I got close.
Macaulay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yep. Fucking wild. But I wanted to see because there was allegedly a post from him talking
And
about how
Stina, add those
um,
names. We'd love to see them.
that
Swedish
Michael
people.
Jackson. I'm now searching within his thing. Jackson. Neverland. Oh, can't spell Neverland apparently.
Never. Yeah.
There was allegedly a thing where it was a post that he was actually protected from Michael Jackson protected Macaulay from Epstein,
Really?
but I don't know where that post is, and
And
I'm
that's
looking for it.
fascinating because I didn't know that.
Yes, and I can't right now tell you where that information is, so take it with a grain of salt is what I'm going to tell you.
Grain of salt it is.
Unfortunately, I hate like seeing posts and being like, yeah, I think this is real, let me get back to you on that.
It's not great, but at the same time, you know where you're looking. It's all right. It'll pop up after the
Yeah.
stream.
And I'm sure if you look for it, like Macaulay Culkin, Michael Jackson, I'm sure you'll find it. But it makes it a very interesting thing to look at because, okay, so Michael Jackson died from a drug overdose.
He did.
And then it makes you
Propofol.
wonder about Avicii, Chester Bennington, who were at the times of their deaths working on a documentary called The Silent Children when they both killed themselves. And I believe there's two others involved in that as well. And it makes everyone kind of, it's a bit of a head scratcher. That you may find interesting if you believe in conspiracies.
Not gonna lie, if this is true with all that he went through, the cases, settlements, all the money he lost, and how he was financed, the tour he was going to do, all the shows of the O2 he was intending on doing, and that he was protecting children. If any of that is proven true over time, especially, man, the light just shines differently.
Let me see if I can find the article on it.
People in the chat are saying there is truth to this. If that is the case, because I haven't seen it, I have to say if. It really does paint him in a different light. And I think that I hope that then leads to wider, if it, spread, because deserves it if it's true. And Stina, thank you for the names. I don't know who any of them are, and I'm not even going to pretend to be able to pronounce their names. I'm just going to say if they're on that list, they deserve what's coming. Fascinating stuff, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and like, let's see here, how Michael Jackson protected.
Well, based on what Greens has mentioned about the abuse the Jacksons all suffered at the hands of their father. Is Joe Jackson the father? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not surprised when Michael was known to protect his sisters. Not surprised. I'm glad that he had the right and healthy attitude to look out for them. We would never want. I never liked people hitting their daughters. I thought it was always wrong. Shouldn't hit the boys either, to be fair, but not going to judge parenting from generations gone by. We've all gone through it. As long as we're better than those that came before, that's all that matters. I'm intrigued because I feel like over the weekend I'm going to have to do a little bit of reading here because I'm a little bit behind. I knew about the English side of it because that was the relevant part to me. Because of the issues I've had, I've not really consumed the North American side.
Yes.
Or European, in fact, because there will be more names. There will be a lot more names. And it was this kind of, it feels very much like a conspiracy, a collusion on a large scale for one person, and I don't fully get why they were also willing to be a part of it. Like, what would inspire this many people to be a part of something that is so cult-like over one guy?
Well, so I mean, they've kind of talked about that as a blackmail thing.
Oh.
They wanted access to Epstein's money, but Epstein would bring them to the island.
Yeah.
And instead of, they would get them all boozed up and whatnot. And as soon as they indulged in less than appropriate behavior, absolute criminal behavior, they would record it to use as blackmail. The eating people part has me a bit confused, though.
There's a few other things that confuse me. There was a Pokemon Go stop on the Epstein Island, and something about SpongeBob.
Yeah.
What was
Bikini Bottom? So the allegation is that SpongeBob was literally created for the kids on Epstein Island to watch, because if you look at SpongeBob's driver's license, it is the address of Little St. James Island.
So I've never watched SpongeBob ever. I'm now, if that's true again, I am so glad I have never watched it. I don't know who told me this, by the way. Somebody told me this during the week, I think. And I don't remember who it was. But I will admit, I'm just sat here I never watched it. I'm not, by the way, I probably still would watch it, even, to be honest. But that is, man, that's sus.
Wild.
It's so wild.
It's fucking weird, dude.
It's so sus. Nah.
Yeah. No, it's so fucking weird.
It's odd.
And it was that, plus if you looked at this conspiracy, unfortunately TikTok has fed me so much conspiracy stuff that it's really hard for me to not think about what I've seen on that, but I'm trying my best.
Yeah, I get it.
There is so much conspiracy from the allegations of just like the Nickelodeon logo,
Oh, that
Bikini
too.
Bottom.
Yes,
Oh
Nickelodeon
my
logo.
god! Like I'm hearing so much of it, and I'm just like, please stop.
If they
I'm
if
losing
they
track of
if
reality.
they if they do something to tarnish Omelette du Fromage, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. So mad.
What is that?
That's Cartoon Network, and it was Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, actually, funny enough, Cartoon Network, one of the few networks that was not in the Epstein
Oh,
files.
thank the Lord, Nicolas Cage, for that. I'm so happy. Omelette du Fromage.
Like, oh yes, Dexter's Laboratory. Thank you. It took me a second.
Yeah.
But yes, Cartoon Network and PBS, one of the few networks that were not mentioned in the files at all.
Right. Okay, so I have a query for you then. What do you think is going to happen over the next 7 days in this area?
So there are a lot of people right now, one of which is actually a senator who is kind of going a bit gung ho and just starting to feel like, fuck it, if you guys aren't going to start releasing the names of these people, I will.
Good.
Senator releases unredacted names. I saw this recently.
Tell me it's Fetterman or something, because that'd be funny. Oh, he's a senator, isn't he? Yeah, yeah.
I think was it Thomas Massey? Rep Khanna. Yeah, it was Ro Khanna,
Ro Khanna.
Democratic rep.
Good.
He took the House floor to read out the names of the 6 wealthy, powerful men the Justice Department had initially blacked out. And they were Leslie Wexner, who led the parent company of Victoria's Secret, Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, the Dubai logistics firm.
Yeah, the one I mentioned.
Less well-known people: Salvatore Nuara, Zurab Mikoladze. Sure. Leonik Leonov and Nicola Caputo.
Yep. They were all getting absolutely tarred and feathered today in the UK.
Yeah. This is because Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey basically said, and this is Democrat and Republican, basically said, nah, fuck all you guys. We're pulling this. We're done with this.
Yeah, it has to be out there. I'm afraid now you can play politics all you like. Now it's the point where you've got to just put it out, lay all your cards out, and let these people, they're all grown-ups, deal with it. You have a social responsibility, as my politicians like to say, when it comes to paying more taxes. I'm going to take that turn of phrase and say you, the individual, now have a social responsibility to be held accountable for your involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Whether it be hedge fund related, pyramid scheme related, or noncing related, or jerky related, then we need to have you need to have a conversation with a lot of people in a very public way, provide evidence or debunk where with evidence possible, and it needs to be shown. I personally think if it's anyone in the UK, it needs to be done on the BBC, and it needs to be done at the most watched moment, so people can see accountability in its truest form. It won't be done like that, so no one will ever be free of it. Best of luck to you, motherfuckers.
It's so maddening, honestly.
It is. Are we here next week, Trups, by the way?
I think no, we won't be.
Oh, okay.
I have something.
Flopping?
Kind of. I have a plot meeting.
Oh, fair enough. Hope it goes well for you. Okay, well, we're not here next week, which means more streams for me doing stuff.
Which theoretically should also mean that we'll have some sort of development.
Yeah, fingers crossed, eh? Although sod's law now, we know it's not going to be the case. Chances are all the good stuff will have happened and gone tomorrow. Thank you for joining, guys.
Yeah, that happens too.
We really appreciate it. I need to head back to the house now and wrap up because it's bloody cold in here right now. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Say goodnight, Traps.